Good evening, everyone. My name is Ann Winkle, and this is my Module 4, Understanding My Community. My community is Nelson Middle School in Frisco, Texas, and let us begin. So, first of all, let's talk about some customs and traditions here in Frisco and Nelson Middle School. So, homecoming here is a big deal. They have mums and garters, and up here is a picture of the different mums and garters that they use in the top right here. Big deal when you ask your person to go to the dance with you, you give them a mum if it's the girl and a garter for the boy. And then another custom, religious holidays are really big. Hindu is a huge religion, so we celebrate that a lot. And the traditional holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, with decorations. We have assemblies to learn more, like we had a Veterans Day assembly, so kids learn more about that. And then we have lessons embedded as well to learn about the different holidays and big events for all backgrounds. So those are some customs and traditions with religious holidays. PTA, Parent Teacher Association, has some yearly events that they do that are teacher focused. Like they do a pie day right before Thanksgiving. They do a Hawk Fest for all kids and families. So those are some other customs and traditions. The Texas State Fair is big down here. We get a day off for it, and the county fair is in the summer, but it's still celebrated. Extracurricular activities like your sports and your band, they have meals, they have social nights for the kids and the parents, and different clubs have customs and traditions that they celebrate every year. And then collection drives for the different holidays, like for Thanksgiving, before Christmas. We do food, clothing, and any needed items. So those are some customs and traditions celebrated here at Nelson Middle School and in Frisco, Texas. Population stats. If you know anything about Frisco, it was the country's fastest growing city from 2000 to 2009, and then again in 2018. It is still growing very rapidly. Population is listed here. Male female stat, 37 is your average age, about half and half breakdown between male and female. 3.4 is your average family size. The biggest minority in Frisco is Asian. You have a huge Asian Indian population here. It's one of the highest in Texas, Asian populations. And here's my breakdown down here of the race based on this little graph here. And then the biggest employer is hospitality, which is leisure hospitality. Then it is other, which it just said other on the several sites I looked. Transportation, which includes trade, transportation, utilities. And then the fourth is construction, which includes mining, logging, and construction. Those are your four big employers. And these stats down here talk about education and the percent that each person, or the percentage population that each has. So I'll give you a moment to look at that. And those are your general population stats for Frisco, Texas. Communication channels used by the school and the district as a whole. You have your basic social media, Facebook, they have posts, they do a lot of polls here to get kind of feedback from the public. We'll talk about that more later. Twitter is a big thing. You have your different Twitter handles. District and school websites are really good. They're always updated. They have a lot of information on them. People just have to look. That's a big communication channel. Newsletter, they use the S'mores template, if you've ever heard of that. The district has monthly newsletters to all parents. Schools have weekly ones. You have to subscribe to them. And then the staff, they get this one called The Beat in an email. So that's a communication channel to the staff. Other more broadcast ones, you have your local TV station, you have your local stores that post different events. And then there's also a podcast, which I would consider a broadcast. And here is a little screenshot of what the podcast looks like. They're all used. I would say the most effective for your younger population would be your social media. Older population would be more like your TV station, but they're all used. They're all effective. And yeah, that's your communication channels. PTA, or community groups, sorry. PTA is huge around here, parent involvement, huge community group. Booster clubs for athletics and fine arts. I found that very interesting. That band has a booster club. Band and choir, those things have booster clubs. Church groups, you have FCA, big in high school for sure. And then we have clubs within the school for the students. I thought that's a community group when you think of it in terms of a school. Recycling is big. NJHS, National Junior Honor Society. We have student ambassadors. We have Stuco. Athletes are a big extracurricular activity club. Where leadership is the main focus, being a leader. Community service, they all do community service projects. They all do service projects, like the athletes have to do 2 community service projects a year. So those are your big community groups here in Frisco and in Frisco ISD. Leadership lineup. You have your main community leaders. You have your mayor, your city council, your school district leadership, from your superintendent to deputy superintendent, and then you have superintendent of secondary, elementary. So a lot of leadership in the school district, chamber of commerce, Rotary. They all work together, is what I've been informed. I'm new to the community, so a lot of this I had to ask other people to get a kind of a gist and do my research, but not everything can you look up online. Sometimes you have to ask the members, so I did a lot of research by just talking to people. They really all work together very well. The community is big, being a part of the school district, so that's kind of your leadership works together, those five main pieces there. And then your business leaders who have a lot of say. Toyota is big here, PGA, the Star, Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones. That's like all one big cluster. Those are some of your main leaders in the businesses. Unique to Frisco, some pieces here with leadership. Parents are very involved. We have a district advisory council that I'm actually a member of, and parents are a part of that advisory council. They want parents involved because parents care, so we need to use them. That's part of the community. So that's what we got. Economic conditions. It is a very high income compared to other areas, from what I was told from people. Very rapid growth, like I mentioned earlier. We went from one high school to then 10 years later, now we have 12 high schools, and we're building 2 right now. Most of your, schools are max capacity, especially elementary and middle school. They can't build them fast enough. So that's kind of your economy. Everyone wants to live here. This picture of these houses I wanted to show because everything's close together because there's so many people trying to move here in very little space. COVID impact, kind of similar to everybody. Nothing unique that I was told. Small businesses closed. Shopping centers had to close. A lot of online shopping now, as we all know. Bankruptcy was kind of a personal level. Nothing major. The housing market is good and bad. A lot of people are selling, but it also costs a lot to buy. So it's a seller's market right now. But everyone's still trying to move here. So it is a very demanding housing market. Lots of financial support. Everyone wants to help the schools. And I said that more than once already. I feel like everyone wants to be involved with the school. So we get a lot of financial help, financial support. And it's one of the top cities to live in. I saw that on several sites. Some of it said it was the top. Some said it was in the top. So it depends on where you looked. And there was really no natural disasters recently, from what I was told, that had any effect like decades ago, but nothing recent. Political structure, conservative around here in Texas, as some of you know. Dallas is more Democratic, but Republican for your outer areas. You have your mayor, your city council. School board is big. School's big. Elections are big around here because the school has a big influence on the community. I can't say that enough. Things are changing quickly. The population is changing, so those things are ever revolving in terms of your city council and mayor. The Indian Asian population, like I said, has a huge influence, and they're trying to get into those city council spots and those school board spots because they have a big piece of the population. So that's what I know about the political structure. Social tensions. These are the things that you can't just research. You got to ask people. You have your cultural social tension. You have Black Lives Matter. You have this critical race theory, the school curriculums, what to use, what not to use, what books to allow. That's happening. Religious social tensions. You have a big Indian, Hindu, and Muslim religion is here. So you have those religious tensions. Economic entitlement is big here with the students, with the parents. People have a lot of money. There's a tension there between those that have money and those who might not have as much. That is inevitably going to happen. Public versus private school creates a little tension. You have Legacy Christian Academy is a big private school. You have some private schools in the surrounding areas, not directly in Frisco, but that does create a little bit of a tension because people want the private schools or they want the public schools and they want those things. People do move here, though, I was told, for the public schools because Frisco ISD is very well known and very good. So community efforts, there's been a lot because there's a lot of people moving here and it's a very attractive place to live. Bond issues are done for the new schools. The community spots that we have that are very successful, there wasn't a whole lot that hasn't been successful. You have the Star, Dallas Cowboys, that's like a spot where people can come. There's like a whole little football field. It has a big screen to watch football games and kids can play around. Legacy West, a big community spot. Lots of restaurants, shops, nice area. You have the Field House, which is where lots of basketball tournaments are played, volleyball tournaments. You have the Frisco Athletic Center, which actually students help design that. They got to use robots and kind of help put things together, is what I was told. Very interactive with the kids. FC Dallas Soccer Complex. It's the pro team in Dallas. They host a lot of events. They have a fireworks show every year. Big deal, community spot. There's a skate park. There's walking and biking trails. There's a brand new library being built. This is the old library, which is actually still really nice. And you have that city center around the library. They always have events on the weekends down there. You have the historical downtown. And like I said, the students have helped design some of these items. Even the schools, the students got their say in helping design. So they try to keep the students and the youth involved in all these things. Power structure. The school has major influence over the community behind the scenes, probably more than we realize. The community, they have city meetings, so people get to get involved. And then the parents are big involvement. They have a lot of influence. So that's kind of behind the scenes and what the power structure looks like. Multicultural, it said multicultural issues, but it's more about inclusion. I think we do a great job including all the cultures. Like I said, Asian and Indian culture is big. We weave that into the schools. We have multicultural night where they all get to be showcased. They have the foods, display boards, the holidays. We let them dress up. We talk about their holidays that are specific to their background. We can visit the temples. They're always inviting us and telling us things, the students and the parents. And we let them, we celebrate all the normal cultural months too, like, Native American Month and Day, Veterans Day, like I talked about. We have African American History Month. We do all those things. So we're very great at including all the cultures around us. Public opinion. I think we do a great job with that too. I love my district. What can I say? How do we get it out there? How do we let people know or let people express their public opinion? We let them tell us. We have meet the principal night. We just had a coffee with the principal night or coffee with the principal here. Here's our little ad for that. They can meet with the counselors. Those are like open to the families and the parents. Board meetings are open. Community events. They can also type it. We have Facebook polls, like I talked about earlier. There's always a comment section on the school website. They do surveys a lot around here. So there's always a way to get your public opinion out there. And unique to Frisco, again, parents are big and the public is always given a chance to be heard. Right now they're doing some rezoning and the public is definitely letting their voice be heard. And the school is hearing it. Whether they take it into consideration or not, we don't always know that, but they do give a chance for the public to hear or the public to give their opinion. And that is a little bit about my community. Here is how it correlated to the standard. Here is the relevancy statement. And you can pause if you need more time. And the personal reflection. And my references. I hope you enjoyed and learned a little bit about Frisco, Texas. And I am very glad I got to do this assignment. Thank you so much.